What if the foods sitting in your kitchen right now are quietly stealing years from your life? What if everything you thought was safe, even healthy, is actually accelerating aging and disease? Today, I'm revealing 7 specific foods that a remarkable 95-year-old woman completely eliminated from her diet 30 years ago. And the science proves she made the right choice. These aren't obscure ingredients you've never heard of. These are common foods that millions of seniors eat every single day without realizing the damage they're causing. And here's what makes this urgent. The 7th food on this list is marketed as healthy. It's sitting in almost every senior's pantry right now. And doctors now know it's causing silent damage to your brain, your bones, and your cardiovascular system. I recently interviewed Lorraine, a sharp and incredibly active 95-year-old from Denver who walks 3 miles daily and takes 0 prescription medications. When I asked her secret, she didn't mention expensive supplements or complicated diets. She looked me straight in the eye and said, 30 years ago, I stopped eating 7 specific foods, and my doctor says my blood work looks like someone in their 60s. Food 1, processed meats, bacon, deli meats, hot dogs. That convenient package of deli turkey in your refrigerator might be more dangerous than you realize. I'm talking about processed meats, and this includes bacon, ham, salami, bologna, hot dogs, sausages, and those pre-sliced deli meats you put on sandwiches. These aren't just unhealthy choices. They're classified as Group 1 carcinogens by the World Health Organization, placing them in the same category as tobacco smoke and asbestos when it comes to cancer risk. The research from Harvard School of Public Health tracking over 120,000 people for decades found something alarming. Every daily serving of processed meat increases your risk of premature death by 20%. That's not a small number when you're talking about longevity after 60. The problem with processed meats goes far beyond just being high in fat or calories. During processing, these meats are treated with nitrates and nitrites to preserve color and prevent bacterial growth. When these chemicals enter your body, they convert into compounds called nitrosamines, which directly damage your DNA and promote cancer development, particularly in your colon and stomach. Additionally, processed meats contain extreme amounts of sodium, often 400 to 800 milligrams per serving, which rapidly elevates blood pressure and puts enormous strain on your cardiovascular system. Research published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that regular consumption of processed meats increases stroke risk by 42% in adults over 60. Your arteries are already working harder as you age. Processed meats make that struggle exponentially worse. Nelson, an 87-year-old retired firefighter from Boston, ate deli meat sandwiches for lunch every single day for 40 years. When his cardiologist performed arterial imaging and saw dangerous plaque buildup, Nelson finally eliminated all processed meats from his diet. Within 4 months, follow-up tests showed measurable improvement in his arterial health, and his blood pressure dropped 15 points without any changes to his other routines. Your solution is straightforward and doesn't require giving up sandwiches or convenience. Replace all processed deli meats with freshly cooked chicken breast, turkey, or tuna that you prepare yourself. If you must buy packaged meats occasionally, look specifically for brands labeled no nitrates or nitrites added, and check that sodium content is below 400 milligrams per serving. Roast a chicken on Sunday, slice the breast meat, and use it throughout the week. This takes 30 minutes of preparation and could add years to your life. Every processed meat sandwich you eat increases your cancer and cardiovascular risks measurably. Make today the last time you eat them. Food 2, sugary drinks and sodas, including diet versions. Do you think switching to diet soda protects your health? Think again. Sugary drinks and sodas, including the diet versions, are among the most dangerous foods for seniors, yet they're consumed by millions daily. This category includes regular soda, sweet tea, fruit punch, energy drinks, flavored coffee drinks, and yes, even diet sodas with artificial sweeteners. The Mayo Clinic and American Heart Association have published extensive research on sugar consumption in older adults, and the findings demand immediate attention. A single 12-ounce can of regular soda contains about 40 grams of sugar, which is more than your body should process in an entire day. When you drink that much sugar in liquid form, it bypasses normal digestion and floods your bloodstream instantly. What happens next is a cascade of damage throughout your body. Your pancreas releases massive amounts of insulin to handle the sugar spike, creating inflammation in your blood vessels. Your liver converts excess sugar into dangerous belly fat. Your bones begin leaching calcium to buffer the acidity, accelerating osteoporosis. Research from Tufts University found that seniors who consume sugary drinks daily lose bone density 40% faster than those who don't. But here's what shocks most people. Diet sodas aren't better and might actually be worse. Studies published in the journal Nature found that artificial sweeteners in diet sodas completely disrupt your gut bacteria, the beneficial microorganisms that control your metabolism, immune system, and even your mood. When your gut bacteria are damaged, your entire body suffers. You gain weight more easily, your inflammation increases, and your risk of diabetes actually goes up by 67% despite consuming zero sugar. Charlene, an 81-year-old retired teacher from Atlanta, drank 3 glasses of sweet tea every single day for decades. She struggled with weight gain, low energy, and joint pain. Her doctor finally convinced her to eliminate all sugary drinks completely. Within 6 weeks, Charlene had lost 15 pounds without changing anything else about her diet or exercise routine. Her afternoon energy crashes disappeared and her joint inflammation decreased noticeably. Here's your simple action step starting today. Replace every sugary drink and diet soda with water, unsweetened iced tea, or sparkling water with fresh lemon, lime, or berries. If you absolutely need sweetness occasionally, add a teaspoon of raw honey to hot tea, which provides trace minerals and doesn't spike blood sugar like refined sugar does. Keep a large water bottle with you throughout the day and aim for 6 to 8 glasses. Your taste buds will adjust within 2 weeks, and foods will actually start tasting sweeter naturally. Your bones, blood vessels, and metabolism are reacting to every sugary sip right now. Stop the damage today. Food 3. White bread and refined grains. That soft white bread toast you eat every morning is creating blood sugar chaos in your body. White bread, white rice, regular pasta, crackers, and most breakfast cereals are made from refined grains, meaning all the fiber, vitamins, and minerals have been stripped away during processing. What's left is basically pure starch that your body treats exactly like sugar. Johns Hopkins researchers studying glycemic index and aging found that refined grains cause rapid blood sugar spikes, followed by crashes, and this roller coaster effect is particularly dangerous for seniors. Each spike damages your blood vessels slightly, and over years, this cumulative damage significantly increases your risk of heart disease, stroke, and type 2 diabetes. The science behind this is clear and measurable. When you eat white bread, your blood sugar can spike as high as if you'd eaten pure table sugar. Your pancreas floods your system with insulin to bring the sugar down, but this constant cycle eventually leads to insulin resistance, where your cells stop responding properly to insulin. Research published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that seniors who regularly consume refined grains have a 50% higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes compared to those who eat whole grains. But the damage doesn't stop with blood sugar. Refined grains promote fat storage, especially dangerous belly fat that surrounds your organs. They provide almost no nutrients, leaving you hungry again quickly and leading to overeating. Most concerning for seniors, studies from Columbia University Medical Center found that diets high in refined grains are directly linked to faster cognitive decline and increased dementia risk. Craig, a 79-year-old from Wisconsin, ate white bread toast every morning and white rice with dinner every night. He experienced severe afternoon energy crashes and struggled to maintain a healthy weight. When his doctor recommended switching to whole grains, Craig was skeptical, but tried it anyway. Within 3 weeks, his energy stabilized throughout the day, his cravings decreased dramatically, and he lost 7 pounds without feeling deprived. Your solution requires one simple change at the grocery store. Choose 100% whole grain bread, where the first ingredient listed is whole wheat flour or whole grain flour, not just wheat flour, which is refined. Switch white rice to brown rice, quinoa, or farro. Replace regular pasta with whole wheat pasta. Choose steel-cut oats or old-fashioned oatmeal instead of instant packets. These whole grain versions contain all the original fiber and nutrients that slow down digestion, stabilize blood sugar, and keep you satisfied longer. The taste difference is minimal, but the health impact is enormous. Every white bread meal sends your blood sugar on a dangerous roller coaster. Switch to whole grains, starting with your next shopping trip. Food 4. Deep-fried foods. French fries, fried chicken, donuts. How often are you eating foods cooked in oil, heated to dangerously high temperatures? Deep-fried foods, including French fries, fried chicken, donuts, fried fish, onion rings, and anything cooked in a deep fryer, are creating serious damage to your cardiovascular system every time you eat them. The American Heart Association has issued clear warnings about the dangers of fried foods, particularly for adults over 60. When oil is heated to frying temperatures, typically 350 to 375 degrees, the chemical structure of the fats changes completely. Healthy fats become trans fats and oxidized fats, which are some of the most harmful substances you can put in your body. These damaged fats don't just add calories, they directly clog your arteries, trigger systemic inflammation throughout your entire body, and accelerate aging at the cellular level. Research published in the British Medical Journal followed over 100,000 women for 18 years and found that those who ate fried foods regularly had a 56% higher risk of heart attack and stroke compared to those who rarely ate fried foods. The risk increased with every additional serving per week. For seniors, this risk is even more pronounced because your arteries are already less flexible and more vulnerable to plaque buildup. Each serving of fried food adds more plaque, narrowing the pathways for blood flow to your heart and brain. Additionally, the high temperatures used in frying create compounds called advanced glycation end products, or AGEs, which accelerate wrinkles, joint deterioration, and organ damage. Diane, an 83-year-old from Nashville, loved fried chicken and ate it at least twice weekly for most of her adult life. During a routine cardiac screening, her doctor showed her imaging of significant arterial blockages and warned that she was at high risk for a major cardiac event. Diane immediately eliminated all fried foods and switched to baked and grilled options. 6 months later, repeat imaging showed her arterial inflammation had decreased and she successfully avoided bypass surgery. Your practical solution is easier than you might think. Bake, grill, broil, or use an air fryer for any food you would normally fry. Air fryers use circulating hot air instead of oil and create similar crispy textures without the dangerous trans fats. Season chicken with herbs and bake it at 400 degrees for 25 minutes instead of frying it. Cut potatoes into wedges, toss with a tiny amount of olive oil, and bake them instead of deep frying. When eating at restaurants, always choose grilled, baked, or roasted options and specifically ask for no fried foods. Your taste buds will adjust quickly, and you'll start noticing how greasy and heavy fried foods actually taste. Every fried food meal damages your arteries in real time. Choose baked options, starting with your very next meal. Food 5. High-sodium canned soups and processed foods. That convenient can of soup sitting in your pantry contains more sodium than you should consume in an entire day. High-sodium canned soups and processed foods are silent killers for seniors because the damage happens gradually and invisibly until a serious health crisis occurs. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention states clearly that adults over 60 should consume no more than 1,500 milligrams of sodium per day. Yet a single can of regular chicken noodle soup often contains 1,800 to 2,400 milligrams. That's more than a full day's limit in one bowl. Processed foods like frozen dinners, canned vegetables with added salt, packaged rice mixes and instant noodles are equally dangerous, often containing 800 to 1,200 milligrams of sodium per serving. Excessive sodium does far more damage than most people realize. It immediately raises your blood pressure by causing your body to retain excess fluid, which forces your heart to work much harder to pump blood through your system. Over time, this constant strain weakens your heart muscle and damages your arteries. Research from the New England Journal of Medicine found that reducing sodium intake by just 1,000 milligrams daily decreases stroke risk by 75% in adults over 60. Beyond cardiovascular damage, excessive sodium accelerates bone loss by forcing your kidneys to excrete calcium in urine. It also impairs kidney function progressively, and since kidney disease often has no symptoms until it's advanced, many seniors don't realize the damage until it's irreversible. High sodium intake is also directly linked to stomach cancer and worsens conditions like osteoarthritis by increasing inflammation. Eugene, an 86-year-old retired postal worker from Philadelphia, relied heavily on canned soups for quick lunches because they seemed healthy and convenient. His blood pressure remained dangerously elevated despite medication, and his doctor couldn't understand why. When a nutritionist reviewed Eugene's diet and discovered his sodium intake was over 4,000 milligrams daily from canned foods alone, everything became clear. Eugene started making large batches of homemade vegetable soup on Sundays and freezing individual portions. Within 8 weeks, his blood pressure had dropped 20 points without any changes to his medication. Here's your immediate solution that saves money and tastes better. Make simple homemade soups using fresh or frozen vegetables, low-sodium broth, lean proteins, and herbs for flavor instead of salt. One afternoon of cooking yields 8 to 10 servings you can freeze and reheat throughout the month. If you must buy canned soups occasionally, choose only brands specifically labeled low sodium with less than 400 milligrams per serving. And even then, dilute them with extra water and vegetables. Check labels on all packaged foods and avoid anything with more than 300 milligrams of sodium per serving. Your blood pressure responds to sodium within hours of consumption. Reduce it immediately starting today. Food 6, artificial sweeteners, aspartame, sucralose, saccharin. Think those zero-calorie pink, blue and yellow packets are protecting your health? The truth is far more concerning. Artificial sweeteners, including aspartame, sucralose, saccharin and acesulfame, potassium, found in diet sodas, sugar-free desserts, light yogurts, and those little packets you add to coffee, are causing measurable harm to your body. For decades, these chemicals were promoted as safe alternatives to sugar, but groundbreaking research from the Weizmann Institute of Science in Israel and published in the prestigious journal Nature has completely changed what we know. The researchers found that artificial sweeteners fundamentally alter and damage your gut microbiome. The trillions of beneficial bacteria living in your digestive system that control your metabolism, immune function, mood, and even brain health. When your gut bacteria are damaged by artificial sweeteners, a cascade of negative effects follows. Your body becomes less able to regulate blood sugar properly, paradoxically increasing your risk of glucose intolerance and type 2 diabetes despite consuming zero sugar. Recent studies from Boston University School of Medicine found that daily artificial sweetener consumption increases stroke risk by 23% and dementia risk by 47% in adults over 60. The mechanisms aren't fully understood yet, but researchers believe the damage to gut bacteria and the resulting inflammation throughout the body, including the brain, are primary factors. Additionally, artificial sweeteners trick your brain by providing intense sweetness without calories, which confuses your natural hunger and satiety signals. This actually causes increased cravings for sweet foods and can lead to weight gain despite the zero-calorie promise. Gladys, an 82-year-old from Seattle, drank diet soda daily and used artificial sweetener in her morning coffee for over 20 years. She suffered from chronic digestive issues, unexplained weight gain despite eating carefully, and frequent infections suggesting a weakened immune system. Her gastroenterologist suggested eliminating artificial sweeteners completely as a trial. Within 3 weeks, Gladys's digestive problems had resolved almost entirely, and within 3 months, her immune function improved noticeably. Your action step is simple, but requires reading labels carefully. Eliminate all artificial sweeteners immediately from your diet. If you need sweetness in coffee or tea, use a small amount of real sugar, raw honey, or stevia, which is a natural plant-based sweetener that doesn't harm gut bacteria. 1 teaspoon of real sugar contains only 16 calories and won't cause the metabolic damage that artificial sweeteners create. Avoid all products labeled sugar-free, diet, or light because they almost always contain artificial sweeteners. Your gut bacteria are dying from these chemicals right now. Switch to natural options today. Food 7. Margarine and hydrogenated oils. The healthy imposter. Here's the truth that might shock you. That margarine you switched to decades ago thinking it was healthier than butter is actually causing serious damage to your cardiovascular system. Margarine and products containing hydrogenated or partially hydrogenated oils, including many packaged baked goods, crackers, and microwave popcorn, contain trans fats that Harvard Medical School now identifies as the most dangerous fats you can consume. For years, margarine was marketed as a heart-healthy butter alternative because it's made from vegetable oils instead of animal fat. But the process of turning liquid vegetable oil into solid margarine requires hydrogenation, which creates trans fats. These artificial fats are not recognized by your body and cause severe damage to your cardiovascular system. Trans fats simultaneously raise your LDL bad cholesterol and lower your HDL good cholesterol, creating the worst possible scenario for your arteries. Research published in the New England Journal of Medicine found that consuming just 2 grams of trans fats daily, which is less than 1 tablespoon of margarine, increases your risk of heart disease by 300%. Trans fats also promote inflammation throughout your entire body, damage the lining of your blood vessels, and interfere with your body's ability to use beneficial omega-3 fatty acids. The evidence became so overwhelming that the Food and Drug Administration finally banned artificial trans fats in 2018. But many products manufactured before that date remain on shelves, and small amounts are still allowed under current labeling rules. Walter, an 89-year-old from Portland, used margarine exclusively for over 40 years because his doctor in the 1980s told him to avoid butter for his cholesterol. Ironically, Walter's cholesterol profile remained poor despite following this advice. When his new doctor recommended switching back to real butter in moderation and eliminating all hydrogenated oils, Walter was skeptical. Within 4 months, his cholesterol ratio actually improved, and his arterial inflammation markers decreased significantly. Here's what to do immediately. Throw away all margarine in your refrigerator right now. Use real butter in moderation, approximately 1 to 2 tablespoons daily. Or better yet, use olive oil, avocado oil, or coconut oil for cooking and spreading. Check ingredient labels on all packaged foods, crackers, cookies and snacks. If you see partially hydrogenated oil anywhere in the ingredients, don't buy it. Even products claiming zero trans fats can legally contain up to 0.5 grams per serving. So avoiding hydrogenated oils entirely is the only safe approach. The so-called healthy alternative has been destroying your arteries for years. Make the switch today. These 7 foods, processed meats, sugary drinks, white bread, fried foods, high-sodium soups, artificial sweeteners, and margarine are silently stealing years from your life right now. But eliminating them is simpler than you think. You don't need expensive specialty foods or complicated meal plans. Swap processed for real, fried for baked, artificial for natural, refined for whole. Start with one food this week. Next week, tackle another. Within 2 months, you'll have eliminated all 7, and the difference in how you feel will be remarkable. Which of these 7 foods surprised you the most? Drop a comment because I read every single one. Hit that like button if you're ready to eliminate at least one of these, starting today, and subscribe for science-backed nutrition advice every week. Share this video with anyone over 60 who's still eating these foods. This information could literally add years to their life.